Hello everybody, Adam Cleary from FourFourTwo here, and as the January transfer window nears its exciting conclusion, do you know who I've been thinking about? Chelsea. Because, do you know that bit in The Simpsons where the Yakuza and the Mafia are having the fight outside and Homer doesn't want to go in because the guy in the white suit hasn't done anything yet, and you know he's going to do something and you know it's going to be good? Well, that guy in the white suit, that's Chelsea in the transfer window. You know they're going to do something, and you know it's going to be mad. And here at FourFourTwo, we have run the numbers, we have crunched the facts, we have double-fisted the data, and there is one transfer we think they could do that would be absolutely mad, but would also be genius. Anyway, yes, Chelsea. This is Chelsea right now. They are getting better. They are getting their injuries sorted. They appear to be building a little bit of momentum. The last couple of results in the league were really good, and they overcame that big Borough hiccup, so they're into a final. It's finally starting to come together, but they do still have a number of problems. Now, you know as well as I know that you should never try and fix your big problems in the January transfer window. Almost never ever works. The market is too crazy. The players are even crazier. But while you cannot fix them, you can mitigate against them. I think that's the word. Mitigate, verb, formal, to make something less harmful, unpleasant, or bad. That'll do. And the main problem that Chelsea should mitigate, I feel really clever now, is up here at this exact end of the pitch. They do not put the ball in the back of the net anywhere near as much as they should. And this is legitimately such a unique problem this Chelsea team have, because every team wants to put the ball in the back of the net more. It's the fucking objective of football, but Chelsea creates such high quality chances. They get in on goal so many times and do not score. Now, I know not everybody cares about XG, but it is still a very good measure of the quality of your attacking output rather than just simply the volume of your attacking output. And if we look at that, Chelsea are insane. Chelsea have an expected goals tally of just under 42 this season, which is the second highest in the entire league behind Liverpool. Now again, whether you think XG is important or not, they must be doing something right in terms of their chance creation, because they keep finding themselves in all these situations that score really high on that metric. And if you look at all the teams around them, they're really good at scoring goals. And if you look at all the teams at the bottom, they're really bad at it. So something checks out. But then if we start to add the actual numbers to this, it paints a bit of a picture of what's going wrong. Because in terms of chance creation measured by XG, they're second in the league. But then in terms of the number of shots they actually have, they drop slightly to fourth. And then in terms of the number of those shots that are on target, they drop all the way down to ninth, which is where they are in the league. And out of those shots on target, how many actually end up in the back of the net? They are ninth as well for the number of goals scored overall. And then if you want to drill that down even further and look at the percentage of shots that lead to goals, they drop all the way down to 11th. And then finally, if you work out the percentage of shots on target that lead to goals, they drop all the way down to 13th. So, oh no, that's weird, isn't it? If we measure the quality of all the chances they get, they score really, really highly and they make loads of them and they should be scoring loads of goals. But when we look at the actual goddamn facts of the matter, how many of these shots happen, how many of them go on target, how many of them go in the goal, they just go down and down and down and down the table. And thus, my friends, if we take the bacon of expected goals and we combine it with the eggs of just goal scoring statistics, we get this horrible, rubbery, stale, cold breakfast of unprecedented goal-scoring misfuckery. Chelsea have underperformed their expected goals this season by more than 8, the highest in the entire Premier League by some way. Now, Chelsea fans, you will know that there are many culprits for this. The really glaring misses have come in all shapes and sizes from all over the pitch, but if there is one man more culpable than anyone else, it is Nicholas Jackson. Now let's just get a couple of things straight here, by the way. Nicholas Jackson is 22 years old, and I think genuinely will go on and develop into one of the most well-rounded, positionally intelligent strikers in all of Europe. But Chelsea didn't need that this summer. They needed a guaranteed goal scorer, and right now, at this stage of his career, that isn't who he is. He may well be one day, but certainly not this season, and almost certainly not next season either. Now, just to bear that out in the numbers again, he is currently in the top 10% of the entire Premier League in terms of expected goals, because as we illustrated, Chelsea are creating very good chances, but he is absolutely bang in the middle rank average in terms of the goals he scored and how many shots he takes to get a goal and how often he gets his shots on target. And again, just to do exactly what we did for Chelsea's goal scoring as a team, if you take those high metrics in terms of the quality of chances he's getting, and then you maths it all together with his actual performance, you get this, a really dramatic underperformance. Just to flush all those graphs down the toilet and put it in nice words you can repeat to people in the pub, Nicholas Jackson is currently in the top 10% for the chances being given to him, and in the bottom 10% for how he translates that into goals. So that is Chelsea's big problem. It can't be solved long term in this window, merely mitigated. So how do you mitigate it? I've said that word so many times now. Well, what you do is you go and buy Callum Wilson. Right, so full disclosure here, my friends, I am a Newcastle United supporter, so for me to sit in this chair and say that Chelsea should buy Callum Wilson is the emotional equivalent of finding out one of your friends has gone through a bad breakup and saying, hey buddy, do you know what might cheer you up as a little rebound? Why don't you go and fuck my wife? But nonetheless, that is what they should do. See, the main problem Nicholas Jackson has is not a technical one. He is more than capable of being a lethal goal scorer somewhere down the line. The problem he's got is that he does not have natural goal-scoring instincts, and they do take time to develop if you haven't just got them. And as a result, the main fault he has as a goal scorer is that time and time again, he will just accidentally drift away from the optimal position to score a goal, so when the chance finally does arrive to him, it's much harder than it needs to be. Now, just as an example here, you can see the way Chelsea are building up. Jackson's in a really good starting position, and they could hit this exact area between the goalposts, and that would give him a really good chance of scoring. But as the play develops, he just seems to be drawn away from that area, possibly to just find a bit more space or to evade his marker. But what he should be doing is just holding his position and trusting his teammates to find him. As a result, when they eventually do, he's moved out of the right position to be in, and it's just a really hard chance. And as well as not really trusting his teammates to find him, he doesn't seem to trust himself either. Like, Chelsea fans, how many times have you seen this already this season? The time to take this shot is right here. It's never going to be a great chance, but you've got a much better opportunity if you hit it early. Instead, he wants to just take this touch, which isn't going to get him anywhere. It's not going to get past the defender. It's not going to open the angle up. All it does is make it even harder again. And we can see this, by the way, in his seasonal heat map. The guy has been all over the pitch for Chelsea this year, finding the ball, linking up with the play, creating space to allow your Sterlings and your Palmers to get in, which, don't get me wrong, is probably part of the plan for Chelsea, that he's supposed to drift here and there, but it always seems like he's doing it even when he shouldn't be. Might be a confidence thing, might just be that because Palmer just has such top-level belief in himself and Sterling's such an experienced player, they both want to get in on goal as well. Maybe he doesn't feel confident being the one that's going to be like, no, do you know what? I'm staying here. This is my position. Or maybe that's what he's instructed to do. Either way, makes life so much harder for him. Just to give you the most direct comparison, this is Callum Wilson's seasonal heat map. And yes, of course, he will drop around to receive the ball, to relieve pressure, to go and collect it when Newcastle are sitting deep. But there's so much more of a concentration in and around the goal. It's so rare to see him out wide doing his work, because he knows the best place to score is between the width of the goals. And on the one hand, that does sometimes mean that the ball just doesn't come to him. As a Newcastle fan, I can tell you, I've watched him have several really quiet games where you barely knew he was there. But on the other hand, it means when the ball does come to him, you have no doubt whatsoever that he's going to score. Like, this header in particular is absolutely great. There is no space in that box at all. He could be moving around. He could be trying to drop off the defender. He could be just trying to find a pocket where he knows he can receive the ball. But he doesn't want to do that. He knows that where he's standing is the best place to score from, so he puts his trust in his teammates to find him with that ball. And they do. So he scores. Same again here in this game. You could so easily imagine Jackson just leaving this area entirely because he knows it's going to be really difficult for anybody to find him, but Wilson doesn't do that at all. He just waits for the ball to come to him, and when it does, he's put himself in the best possible position to score. And if we just compare all those numbers all over again, Callum Wilson is another player who is in the top 10% in terms of the chances that fall to him. But unlike Nicholas Jackson, there's virtually no drop-off in how he translates those chances into shots shots on targets and goals, which means by extension there is no massive underperformance between what is being offered to him as a striker and what his contribution is in front of goal. And just to run this all the way back to that first set of near impenetrable nerdy numbers we had at the start of this video, if you take Chelsea's overall XG performance this season, pack all that meat into the sausage machine of Callum Wilson's goal-scoring prowess, they would have 8 more goals this season. And if those 8 goals got them even just 3 more wins, they'd be 5th right now, which could very well get you Champions League football next season. Christ, man, if it got them 3 wins and 3 draws, they'd be joint second with City, Arsenal, and Aston Villa right now. That's how close they are to being competitive. But the thing is, this is why I said Chelsea could go out and do something crazy at the start of this video, because under their current model, they're never going to buy a Callum Wilson. They want to go out and buy all these top young stars around Europe, put them on really long contracts, and then either they'll go on to be world beaters who will win loads of stuff for Chelsea, or their value will just increase and they can sell them at a massive profit. That is the business model, and it precludes signing a Callum Wilson. But what, dear friends, would be even worse to that business model would be finishing 9th and missing out on European football. Now, yes, I know they're in the cup final. That might get them there indirectly, and they're not far off. But right now, again, they are languishing in mid-table with a striker coming back from AFCON who is not going to drag them back up the table. Or at least not this season. And Wilson might be 31, but he has only got 18 months left on his contract and is clearly at a club that is willing to part with some of its better but aging and well-earning players to free up some FFPRS or whatever it's called of their own. Getting him on some kind of short-term deal where he can be your main man for the rest of this season and hopefully drag you a couple of places up the league, and then be a part of the first team next season as you're hopefully back into Europe and Jackson continues to develop, is worth breaking your transfer model for. And that's why, as much as it pains me to say it, I think Chelsea should go out and buy Callum Wilson. And I think Callum Wilson would really relish that challenge. And it's definitely one of the players Newcastle feel like they should part with in the next few months. So it works, genuinely, for every single party involved. Now, if you have enjoyed a single word of this, and first off, very humbled, thank you very much, but we are really hoping to break our monthly subscribers record, and oh my god, we're this close to doing it. So if you would please consider subscribing to the channel. We'll make fun stuff like this all the time. We look at tactics and things, and we've got fun, cool interviews coming as well, and the more of you are on board, the more we can do. It genuinely does help us out massively. So if you've liked it and you want to smash it, I don't know what's wrong with me. In the meantime, you can get me on Twitter at Adam Cleary, Clery, 442 socials in the corner of the video. This is normally where I would reach for a copy of the magazine and show it to you, but I haven't got one at the minute because I just gave that last one to Joe Cole, of all people. You see, Chelsea fans, I'm one of you, really. But yes, that's the whole outro. That's all I've got, and I'm now away to see just how transparent I actually was in this video. You could, see through my little nipples. It's been a long week. Goodbye.